so much for joining me today to do some yoga. We'll be doing a kind of surprise mystery bag of yoga this morning. It's not any one particular focus, but there's kind of like a little bit of everything. There's some shoulders, there's some hips, there's a little bit of core, there's some work for your legs and your arms, but it's just some things that I put together this morning that sounded really nice. So hopefully you think they feel really nice as well, and you enjoy them, and your body feels better an hour from now than it does right at this moment in time. No props are required for today's class. Of course, if you like to use props, you can use blocks underneath your hands in any of the standing poses. You can sit on a blanket or use a blanket underneath your knees. Anything that makes your practice better is welcome, and I'll of course give a few ideas as we move through class of what you might like to happen if you happen to have them handy. When you're ready, go ahead and lie down on your back. And of course, when you lie down on your back, you might find that at first you need to draw your knees in towards your chest. You need to do some stuff to get comfortable. Stay right like this, that might be just fine. Or you might decide to place the soles of your feet on the floor, or even extend your legs out long. And just start in a comfortable position for your body, lying on the floor in the way that feels best to you. And there, when you get to that point where you're lying on the floor comfortably, just close your eyes. Take a deep breath in. And as you breathe out, relax. Relax your belly, the palms of your hands, your shoulders, your ears. Sink into the mat. And you can repeat that process a few times, taking a deep breath in. Exhaling to relax. I'm going to start this morning with a little side stretch, just starting to open up the outer edges of our body. We're going to do a banana asana. So as you're ready, you can blink your eyes open. You're going to lift your right foot just an inch or two off of the mat and slide it 6 to 12 inches over to the right. And then lift up your left foot and do the same thing. You could cross your left ankle over the top of your right knee, or you could just set your feet next to each other, see what feels comfortable to you. And that might be plenty. You can start to really feel the whole outside edge of your body. You could stay here, maybe reaching your arms overhead. That might feel good, and I'm holding my left wrist with my right hand, but you can also just be letting your hands rest easily. If you feel like you could go for a deeper side stretch, you're welcome to inchworm your torso likewise over to the right side of the mat, so you're creating this crescent or banana shape here over to the side. And you just want to feel some openness along the left side of your body here, some stretchiness going on. When you just breathe into that, you expand the left side of your body with every inhale. Spend another little bit of time here, so make sure you're comfortable. If you need to adjust, please don't hesitate. This shouldn't be painful, though it might be quite deeply stretchy and not like just comfortable. It might be a little bit intense, especially as we stay here for another minute or so. But don't hesitate to adjust if your body is giving you the signal, and that signal is usually a sharp pain or tug or a building fiery discomfort. Those are not places that you want to dwell in. Intensity, sure. Challenge, absolutely. Pain, don't need it. When you're ready, you're going to release your hands, release your legs, and bring your hands down by your sides after you've brought yourself all the way back to the center line, and just let go for a few moments here. If there's anything you need to do before you go over to the other side, go ahead and do it. And then you're going to move your left leg a little to the left, move your right leg a little to the left. You can cross your ankles or not. That might be plenty. Maybe stretching your arms overhead. Maybe inchworming the body over to the side. And find that spot where you feel that deep stretch. You can breathe into the right side of the body, just opening it up. And you are welcome to stay right where you are. I'm only moving to get a sip of water. Of course, if you need to do likewise, you can. Enjoying that stretch on the right side of your body. Again, we have a bit of a hold here, so if you feel the intensity, great. Embrace that stretch. If you feel the pain, or it's just no longer tenable to stay in this position, please change, adjust. Still got another half of a minute here, enjoying the breath. When you're ready, you're going to release your arms, release your legs, come back to the center line. And again, take a moment just to lie down with your arms by your sides and feel the difference in your body. That same kind of lengthening out for our legs now. So when you're ready, draw the soles of your feet in. You can adjust your hips if you need to. Draw your right knee in towards your chest. And kind of really pull that knee in towards the chest. If it doesn't feel comfortable to hold your shin, you can hold your thigh, or you could loop a strap over the ball of your foot to help draw that thigh in. But you want your thigh to come, if it can, to rest a little bit against your belly. And then maybe you even rock a little bit from right to left, massaging your belly and your tailbone. And then you're going to stretch your right leg up. You can catch behind the thigh, the calf, the ankle, or you can do the strap over the ball of the foot as you draw your right leg in towards you, feeling a nice opening at the back of the leg. And think about maybe a little bit of intensity to the stretch, a little bit of sensation so that you feel like you're accomplishing that stretch. But again, no pain. Shouldn't build fiery discomfort as we stay here for a little while. Just some good, deep, old-fashioned stretching. Keep relaxing your shoulders down towards the floor. I've extended my left leg. This feels nice for my hip. Totally optional. You could keep your left knee tented if that feels better. Just easing in this morning, lengthening out the body. Feel the heaviness of your hips towards the mat. Take another deep breath. And then fold that right knee in towards you and cross the right knee over to the left side, creating a twist. If your bottom knee is tented, you're just going to let it fall out to the side as well. You can have a pinwheel shape. You could stack your knees, or you can have your bottom leg long and your top knee bent. Maybe you extend your right arm and you even look over to the right, starting to get a little stretch into your spine. Again, feel the kind of weight of your body drawing you into this stretch. Your right leg should feel a little bit heavy over to the right. You're just kind of relaxing it down towards the mat. Your right shoulder should feel a little heavy towards the floor. And then come back to the center line. Extend that right leg long, or place the sole of the right foot on the floor. You can see what feels more comfortable. Draw your left knee in towards your chest. And first, give it a little hug. Give your belly that little massage, or as much a massage as your breakfast allows. And you'll extend that leg up. Catch wherever behind the leg, or use a strap to pull the leg in until, again, you feel that stretch. Right knee tented or right leg long. And again, use the relaxation to draw you deeper into the stretch. So the more you relax the shoulders, the heavier your arms become, the more stretch you get into your leg. The more you relax your hips down, the more you're elongating your hamstrings. So instead of working really hard to get the stretch, think about hardly working to get the stretch. Really just easing into it and finding as much stretch and intensity as you can from this place of softness and letting go. It's a whole different sensation than pulling and straining into the stretch. You can let your muscles kind of acclimate into that stretch gently. Deep breath. When you fold your left knee in, and you're going to cross your left knee your way over to the right, adjusting the other leg. Maybe you extend your left arm and you look to the left, start to get that stretch into your spine and your shoulder. And again, the relaxation is what brings the depth to the stretch. The more you let go, the more stretchy it gets. Placing your body in this shape that does the work for you. And the struggle is not to do too much work. So sometimes you'll place your body in this position, will be too much, and you'll have to bring your arm back in or place a block underneath your knee, because where your body is just putting so much stretch into your torso, into your hip, that it feels a little too fiery. And that's fine. You want to pick the place where you can, when you relax into the stretch, still actually be relaxed. And you'll know if you're relaxed. If you know your nose is not all crinkled up, that's a sign you're not relaxed. Or your eyes aren't squinchy, or your jaw isn't clenched. Those are all good signs. When you Nice, relaxed face, soft face. Okay, take another deep breath here. And then when you're ready, come back to the center. Bring that left knee towards the chest. When you're ready, hug the right knee towards the chest. Maybe rock a little from side to side. You're welcome to turn the soles of your feet up and go happy baby if you like, a little more into the sockets of the hips. And then your choice. You're going to rock around some more, and you can keep rocking kind of side to side, just massaging out your spine, and eventually roll to one side and use your hands to press yourself up. Or you can try bringing the hands behind the thighs and doing a little forward and back rock. Just be careful if you do that one, that your spine feels okay with it and you have enough cushion on your mat that it doesn't crunch your vertebrae. And you could rock to seated, or you can try to put your feet down and rock all the way up to standing. And eventually we're all going to come to stand up at the front of our mats. And when you come to stand at the front of your mat, you don't have to stay standing very long. You're just going to fold yourself forward, and maybe you rest your forearms on your thighs. Bow your head. Maybe you rest your belly on your thighs and you bring your hands a little further, maybe blocks, maybe all the way to the floor. When you find a spot that feels good there, nod your head a few times. Yes. Shake your head a few times. No. You could stay right here. We could go a little more into the shoulders, taking your arms behind your back. Interlace your fingers and start to lift your hands up towards the ceiling. If lacing the fingers is not possible for you, you can always grab your wrists, your elbow creases, or you can hold a strap between your hands. Sometimes the shoulders are tight enough that lacing the hands just does not work. Sometimes for me, they usually lace up, but occasionally they'll just like spring apart like they are of their own minds. Like, no, this is not for us today. When you're ready, you're going to release whatever you're doing with your hands. Pick up a halfway lift, maybe sliding your hands up to your shins or up to your thighs. You can straighten your legs if it feels good as you reach the crown of your head forward. And then on your exhale, slowly release back down. Inhale, press into the heels of your feet. Keep your knees soft and roll one vertebrae at a time. All the way up. Feeling free to walk your hands on your thighs for extra support if you like. Roll your shoulders back away from your ears. Let your palms perhaps turn a little forward. And then on an inhale, bring your arms up over your head. On your exhale, press your palms together. Fold all the way back forward. Forearms to thighs, hands to shins or floor. Inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, you're going to plant your fingertips down. You could go for blocks here. Step your left foot to the back of the mat. Walk your fingertips back to frame your right foot. So you have a little bit of a shorter stance and your wrists are kind of underneath your shoulders. If you like to use blocks, highly recommended here because we're going to move a little bit. As you inhale, lift your chest forward, roll your shoulders back. You can dip your hips down if you have the flexibility there. And then as you exhale, just straighten your right leg a little bit. And it doesn't have to be very much. We're just starting out. If it likes to go all the way straight, or if you like to flip your toe up, you can as you bow a little forward. Inhale, come back to your lunge. Lift the center of your chest a little bit. And then exhale, pull to the back of the mat. We're just going to do 3 more like that. Go at your own pace. If one spot feels really good, feel more than free to linger. This is just about opening things up a little bit. Moving a little more dynamically into the work we just did on the floor. After you complete that next one, you're going to come forward with your right knee. Plant your hands all the way down to the floor and bring your left knee down to the mat. Slide your hips back. If you need to lift up onto your fingertips, please do. And then slide your right knee back next to your left knee. Walk your hands forward. Slide your shoulders over your wrists and then lower yourself all the way down to the floor. Untuck your toes. Slide your hands back. Again, you could reach back. You could interlace your hands. If you want, you could hold your elbow creases. And this time, press the tops of your feet to the mat as you roll your shoulders back. Lift the center of your chest. Maybe even lift your hands a little bit away from your buns. Feel all those muscles in your back being hold here for a couple of breaths. So you can always pulse, lowering down and lifting if you need a little break. Keep pressing the tops of your feet down. Keep rolling your shoulders back. Squeeze your shoulder blades together. Lift a little higher on one more inhale. And then as you exhale, release. Plant your hands under your shoulders. Press yourself back. Child's pose. Feel free to widen your knees if you like. Actively crawl your fingertips forward. Lift the palms of your hands, grip with your fingertips, and then slide yourself back to that low plank. Palms of the hands on the floor. Exhale, bring yourself down, chest and chin first. If the bum stays elevated, that's fine. Tuck your pelvis down. Now lift to your cobra pose, sliding your shoulders back. Feel free to come high if you're ready. Exhale to release. Tuck your toes under. You're going to go back to table, or you could come to downward facing dog if you feel ready. You choose downward facing dog, maybe you take a few moments and you pedal your feet. You come a little more into the backs of the legs. If you choose table and you want backs of legs, you could tuck one set of toes under and rock forward and back, massaging not just the back of the leg, but the Achilles tendon and the foot. Just alternating sides a few times. And then from your table or your downward facing dog, take a deep breath in, and as you breathe out, walk or step or hop to the front of your mat. As you inhale, find halfway lift. As you exhale, fold forward. As you inhale, roll yourself, maybe one smooth breath this time to the sky, maybe the arms even come out and up. As you exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Inhale, lift your arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, you plant your hands down. You're going to step your right foot back behind you, and now leave your right knee up. I'm getting ahead of myself. Walk your hands back to frame your left foot. Shrug your shoulders back. Again, you can use blocks here underneath your hands or any other prop that feels good. Inhale. You can soften your hips if that feels possible. You can lift the center of your chest, but roll your shoulder blades a little back. Maybe look a little forward. And then as you exhale, you straighten the front leg. You pull the hips back. You can flip the toes up if you need to. Inhale, inhale, lunge. Exhale is pyramid. And you just move a little forward and backward. You got two more here. Your own pace, your own range of motion. Again, you want to go to where you feel the work, but the work feels good. Front knee comes over the front ankle. Drop the back knee to the floor. Plant the hands. Step the left knee back next to the right knee. Walk the hands forward. Again, we're going to come all the way to the floor first for our locust pose. And you can do the half locust, which we did before, pressing the tops of the feet to the mat. Or you can try full locust. Again, you can float your hands or interlace your fingers, maybe trying to interlace the weird way. As you inhale, lift the center of your chest. Roll your shoulders back. Maybe lift your hand. Maybe you decide to lift your feet as well. And again, we're going to stay here for a couple of breaths. So feel free to take a break when you need to. Squeeze your inner thighs together. Squeeze your shoulders together. Lift your chest. Lift your feet if you're choosing that option. Feel all the work. Feel the intensity. Enjoy it. Or try to enjoy it at the very least. Pretend. Give yourself a smile. And when you're ready, let it all go. Bring your hands under your shoulders. Press back. Child's pose. Really lift your belly as you bring your hips back towards your heels. Press your fingers down. Start to lift the palms of your hands as you crawl forward. You feel a little stretch in your armpits, and then you come all the way back forward to your plank. You could stay lower if you feel frisky. You could tuck your toes and come to high plank, lowering to the floor. Maybe you pick up cobra again. Maybe you decide for upward facing dog, shrugging the shoulders back. As you exhale, you come back to table or downward facing dog, and again, feel free to move around however you like. What feels good to your body? And it's perfectly fine. What feels good to your body is stillness, even resting in a child's pose here. It's Sunday morning. Embrace a little bit of that Sunday morning feeling. find halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll yourself all the way up to the sky. As you exhale, bring your hands in front of your heart. We're going to keep the flow going. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, you're going to step your right foot back again. Walk your hands to the inside. And I said right foot again, and it is. We're making a circle, so don't worry if you're worried that your left foot is forward. It's supposed to be. Your hands are inside your front foot. And you're going to walk to the long edge of your mat. And you're going to turn both sets of toes to face towards the long edge of the mat. Press your fingertips down. Lift up, inhale. And as you exhale, you're going to fold all the way forward. Bow your head. Even if you are a little bit lifted here or even up on props, your head comes a little bit in, chin towards the chest, like you're tucking your chin a little bit towards your throat and you're creating a bit of a hollow there. If you have quite a bit of flexibility here, you could go around and hold on to your ankles at this point if you like. And see if you can find that place as we settle into this pose where you feel the work, you feel the intensity, feel your thighs stretching, you feel your ankles working. This is a really good ankle strengthener as you fold forward in this wide leg position. When you're ready, you're going to find halfway lift. Press your fingertips to the floor or your hands to blocks. As you exhale, a little bit of softness in your knees. Bring your hands onto your lower back or walk your hands up your thighs. Come all the way to standing. Turn your right foot to face towards the back of the mat. Open your arms out to the sides. Both legs are straight. Turn your hips or bump your hips back to the front of the room. So your left hip bumps back to the front of the mat. And you reach your right fingertips towards your right toes and you fold to triangle. Hand to thigh, calf. You could go for a block, or you could go all the way down to the floor if you feel quite flexy this morning. And remember, you straighten the leg just as much as you need to straighten the leg, and that's the right leg, to feel the work. For many of us, this is a tight area of the body, our hamstrings and our inner thigh muscles, and we need a little crook in the knee to be sustainable here. If all you feel is a ripping sensation in the back of your leg, bend your knee. If you feel a lovely lengthening sensation with the leg straight, then it might be the right place. Take a couple deep breaths here. Reach the crown of your head forwards, out over those right toes. And again, you find the intensity. If it's too much to have this arm up overhead, you can always fold your left hand behind your back. You can always look down towards your foot if looking up doesn't feel comfortable. Take one more deep breath here. And then you're going to open up your arms if you bound them up a little bit. And then fold down towards your right foot. So you're facing towards the back of the room. Turn your left foot to also face that back short edge of the mat. And then you're going to pop your back foot in just maybe once or twice. Walk your fingertips in front of your right foot. So you're creating a little tripod shape. And you're going to rock your weight forward into your right foot as you straighten your right leg and lift your left leg. Your head comes towards the floor. It's a standing split rather than a warrior three. So it's fine if you're quite bent forward. And you just lift this left hip up as high as you can. Tuck your right hip in towards you. Imagine squeezing your inner thighs together. And don't worry if you don't get particularly high here. This is the first one. We're just stretching things out. You feel the intensity at the back of your right leg, and you feel the intensity in your right thigh. Hopefully it feels kind of nice. Good intensity. And then you're going to drop that left leg back behind you. Lock your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk all the way back to the front of the room. Left foot turns to face it. Right foot turns to face it. Plant your hands down. Bring your right knee to the floor. Untuck your right toes and slide your hands back. Maybe you're adding some blocks. Straightening your left leg for half splits. If you don't feel a stretch as you bring your legs back, you might inchworm your left foot forward and flip your left toes up. Maybe walking your hands back forward. Draw your right hip back. Draw your left hip back. And again, you want to find some intensity now in the left leg. like me, or left foot forward, you're gonna wanna kind of slide it back a little bit. Plant your hands down. Bring your left knee back next to your right knee. Walk your hands a little bit in front. You can stay in this low plank, or if you need, tuck your toes and lift for high plank. Exhale all the way to the floor. This time we're coming directly to cobra, so tuck your elbows in, lift the center of your chest as you inhale. And then as you exhale, lowering down. Push back. Child's pose again. Really crawl your fingertips forward. Feel that nice stretch in your shoulder. Lift the palms of your hands as you inhale. Come forward. This time you're going to come to table or downward facing dog. And from your table or your downward facing dog, you'll just keep moving, walking or stepping or hopping your feet to the front of the mat. Inhale, find halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale, roll up to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Keeping it going. Inhale overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, plant the hands down. You're going to step the left foot back. I'm going to be facing away from you now, but we're doing the same thing. Hands to the inside of the right foot. Walk to the long edge of the mat. Left foot to face it. Right foot to face it. Open your feet to a comfortable distance apart. Adjust the angle of your feet for comfort. And you find the variation of forward fold that feels good. You might be quite high up. If you don't have blocks, I find a really nice place to be is like the seat of a chair here, your hands or your forearms on it. If you like, you can come forward. For some people, their forehead comes really close to the floor. The crown of the head comes really close to the floor. You can put a block under there and rest your head down. Maybe you like to go back into your shoulders, interlacing your hands behind your back. Enjoy. Find a little bit of intensity. Find a little bit of work in the hold. If you don't feel the work yet, squeeze the arches of your feet together towards the center line of the mat. Firm up your inner thighs and feel that action. Enjoy it. When you're ready, you're going to release your fingertips. Press the hands to the floor, to props. Come halfway up. A little bit of softness in your knees. Coming on an inhale, all the way up, hands walk up the thighs, hands to the low back, or arms can come out to the sides if you like. You're going to turn your left foot to face the back of the room. We're going to do our triangle again. Opening your arms out to the side. Legs start off straight. If you need to bend the left knee as we go, you do. Bump your hips back towards the front of the room and reach the left fingertips towards the left toes. Fold into your Trikonasana, your triangle pose. Reach your right arm up to the sky. Shrug your shoulders back. Lift the arches of your feet up. And again, we have a bit of a hold today, so you really enjoy what is happening in your body. And sometimes just noticing the intensity that you have been feeling, but trying not to think about, can make it enjoyable because you notice, oh yeah, I'm working really hard. That's in and of itself its own reward. You work hard, you stretch and lengthen the muscles, you strengthen the muscles. It also gives a nice sense of accomplishment when you acknowledge your own hard work, your own efforting. Try another deep breath here. And then you fold down towards your back of your mat. Your right foot turns to face it. Your left foot is already facing it. You can step your back foot in a few times. You can walk your fingertips out in front of your left foot to create that tripod. And you rock the weight forward. And you straighten the left leg as you lift the right. The head can stay as low as feels comfortable here as you lift the right leg to the sky for your standing splits. Don't worry too much about the position of your hip. Right now you're just working to lift and to feel the left leg. You can tuck your left hip in and squeeze your inner thighs together to really feel that standing leg. Still got a couple of breaths here. Enjoy the intensity. Maybe wiggle it out of your toes. Walk Walk your hands to the inside of your left foot. Walk all the way back to the front of the room. Turn your right foot to face it. Turn your left foot to face it. Bring your left knee to the floor. And now you come for your stretch on the other side, on the right side. So you're straightening your right leg a little bit. You can walk your hands back or prop your hands on blocks. Or you can walk your hands forward and even wiggle your foot forward if you need that deeper stretch in the back of your thigh again. And also feel your shoulders here. Don't let them hunch up. Let them come back. Let them relax. Again, you've put your body in this rather intense shape, and then the more you relax into it, actually the more deep it goes. If you're really tense and you're kind of holding everything, you're not getting the benefit, the depth of the stretch. If you can melt a little bit, that's when you really feel the deep stretch. You're going to wiggle forwards. If you need to wiggle that right foot a little back, and then step your right knee next to your left knee. You can go low plank, or you can tuck your toes and come high plank, lower to the floor. Your choice of back bend. You might even be taking Sphinx, protecting your wrists, elbows on the floor. And then make your way back to your table or your downward facing dog. Just one deep breath there. And walking, stepping, hopping, whatever you need. Make your way to the front of the mat. Inhale, halfway lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll up to the sky. Exhale, hands come in front of the heart. Just one more standing set. Inhale the arms up. Exhale to fold. Inhale, halfway lift. As you exhale, step your right foot back. Walk your hands to the inside of your left foot. Walk to the long edge of your mat. Little difference here in this set. You're going to plant your right hand underneath your nose. Feel free to use a prop under there. And twist to your left. Your left hand can come to your hip, or your left arm can come up to the sky. On an exhale, you fold back down. Plant your left hand and twist to the right. Fold back down. Soften your knees. Inhale, rise all the way up. As you exhale, turn your right foot to the back of the mat. Open your arms parallel to the floor. Push your hips back. Fold to your triangle. And we're not going to hold as long this time, so feel free to go a little bit deeper if you feel ready to feel the intensity. Strike your shoulders back. Gaze point where it feels just right. Inhale here. As you exhale, you fold down. We're going back towards our standing splits. So walking your hands to frame your front foot first. Back foot turns straight forward and back. Maybe a couple hops of that foot in. Hands walk forward, and you lift that left leg as you maybe straighten the right leg a little bit. And here, you can think now about going a little deeper if your body agrees. Maybe you start to soften your left hip down, but you continue to lift your left foot to the sky. So the hip stays closed rather than opening here. It's a lot easier to get high when you're open. You can close the hip and then lift, and you'll really feel the work. Maybe you feel like you want to challenge your balance, so you walk your fingertips back to frame your right foot. Some people can even hold one or two hands, whoops, maybe not today, behind their ankle. I thought I felt really balanced, but my balance disagreed with me. One more back. And then you're going to drop that right foot far back, or excuse me, drop that left foot far back behind you. Walk all the way back to the front of the mat. Right foot faces it. Left foot faces it. Right knee comes to the floor, a little bit different on this side. Now walk your hands again to the inside of your left foot and start to lower your hips towards the floor for lizard pose. As you come towards lizard pose, you want to feel the inside of your right hip. You can relax your shoulders and lift the center of your chest again, kind of like we were doing in the pyramid to lunge earlier. If you need to, you can walk your left foot out to the left side of your mat and even turn your left toes a little bit to angle towards the left front corner rather than the left direct front of your mat. Maybe you even turn and you look a little bit over your left shoulder here, really stretching the front of your right hip. Enjoy the intensity. Enjoy softening to find the intensity. The more you relax your hips down, the more you can relax your shoulders, the better this should work. When you're ready, you're going to come back to the center line. You're going to lift your hips back. Walk your hands underneath your shoulders. Step your left knee next to your right knee. Feel free to skip your vinyasa if you want and simply come directly to a child's pose or a hold in a table. Or you can join me, maybe hands a little further forward, shoulders over the wrists, low plank or high plank. Exhale to the floor. Inhale, you could take cobra or sphinx or upward facing dog. And then as you exhale, come back, child's pose. Press the fingers down, lift the palms of your hands. As you inhale, come forward. This time you can slide your fingers back, come to downward dog or table pose. Take a deep, full breath in. And then walking, stepping, hopping, come to the front of your mat. Inhale, find half lift. Exhale to fold. Inhale to roll to the sky. Exhale, hands to the heart. Let's bring it home on the other side. Inhale, arms overhead. Exhale to fold. Inhale, half lift. As you exhale, plant your hands. Step your left foot back. Bring your hands to the inside of your right foot. Walk to the long edge of your mat, turning your toes to face it and then adjusting them. Plant your right hand down and twist your left, opening and shrugging your shoulders back. Exhale down, plant your left hand and twist to the right. Folding back towards the floor, soften your knees a little bit. Press up, halfway lift, and then keep going. Squeeze your inner thighs together as you lift all the way up. Arms come parallel to the floor. Left foot turns to face towards the back edge of the mat. Knee is a little soft. Reach forward for your triangle pose. And again, you could go a little deeper here if you feel ready. We're not holding for as long, so a little more intensity at first is fine. Squeezing the inner thighs together, reaching the crown of the head forward. Inhale here. As you exhale, you fold down towards the floor. You use your fingertips to frame your front foot. You turn your back foot straight forward and back. Maybe you step it in a little bit. You rock your weight into that left foot, fingers in front of you, and you lift. Standing splits. I'm just going to scoot back because I'm really close to my wall. So if you need to adjust, please do. And here you could stay exactly where you were before, just focusing on lifting the heel of the right foot as you drop the head. If you need a little more, you could drop your right hip, but continue to lift your right heel. So the hip points are facing towards the floor as you lift up, and you'll really feel your standing leg if you do that. It's quite a lovely, intense sensation. Maybe you walk your fingertips back. Maybe you hold on. Maybe you try, even though it's a little scary to hold both hands. Maybe not. Take another deep breath. And then you're going to drop that right foot far back. Walk all the way back to the inside and around to the front of the mat. Right foot forward. Left foot forward. Drop your left knee down. Walk your hands to the inside of your right foot and go for your lizard. And in your lizard, it's just stretching the front of your left hip. So you can drop your hips down a little bit. You can lift your chest. You can do one of these things or both of these things, or honestly neither of these things. If just standing here feels stretchy in the inside of your hips, stay. If you need to go further, you go further. I'm partial to taking my right foot out to the side and angling because I can get my hips even lower, and to me that feels lovely. It feels intense and stretchy. And then I can really shrug my shoulders back. You can even lift the inside corner of your front foot if you want to, if it feels good to your body. Maybe you even go a little deeper to stretching the look. Oh, hello, the right knee. Maybe I can even see my toes. Hello, toes. And you just want the whole right side of your body to just feel stretched out, open, luxurious. Should feel very yummy here. A couple more breaths. Enjoy the intensity, enjoy the stretchiness. Hello, Mr. Kitty. Did you come for Shavasana? When you're ready, you can lift your hips back. Lock your hands under your shoulders. You're going to slide your right knee back next to your left knee. You can skip your half vinyasa here, or you can take one more if you like. Coming forward to a plank, knees up or down, lowering to the floor. Inhale, cobra or sphinx or upward dog. And then exhale, you could come back into that child's pose. Maybe you even have a little something to child's pose above. Reach your fingertips forward and lift yourself back. Now here, you're gonna come down as you come back to your table or your downward facing dog for one deep breath. But instead of walking forward, you're gonna pull yourself again all the way forward onto your belly. And just come all the way down to the floor. When you're all the way down on the floor, you're gonna reach your right arm out to the side, place the palm of your right hand on the floor directly out from your shoulder. Tuck your tuck your left set of toes under. Press your left hand into the floor underneath your left elbow, letting your left elbow wing open. You can rest your head on the floor here, or you can always rest your head on a blanket or a block. A blanket that's been commandeered, but you could fold your blanket underneath your head right here. And then pressing into your left toes, you're gonna roll your weight onto your right hip, starting to open your right shoulder. And that might feel like plenty. Starting to stretch that front of that right shoulder. Maybe you have a little more and you can step your left foot behind your right foot. Some people can even work their left hand behind their back. Some people can interlace their fingers here. If that's you, you can go for it. You just want to feel a nice, intense stretch at the right front of your shoulder. And nice and intense are two things that don't always seem to go together, but see if you can find that balance today between nice and intense. It should feel really beneficial, really good, but deep. I knew you were going to get a cat grooming session as part of this yoga class. Use the intensity of the claw licking as your inspiration. As you're ready, you're going to go back over onto your belly, unwind everything. Maybe stretch your arms back behind you and rest your head to one side for a few breaths. And then we'll go over to the other side. If, like me, you don't have quite enough room, you can always scooch yourself a little bit. And then you stretch your left hand out shoulder height, palm on the floor. Right hand comes underneath the winged open right elbow. Head could be on the floor or prop. Right toes tuck under. And you roll to the left hip. And maybe just staying right here is enough if your shoulders are tight. Sometimes this is absolutely very intense. Maybe you take your right foot behind your left leg. And that's pretty darn intense. Maybe you need to take your hand behind your back or lace up your fingers. And you feel what your body finds nice, but also intense. This should be enjoyable. Not always going to enjoy every pose every day, but see if you can find at least some little part of this that is enjoyable. Maybe it's the fact that now you get to lie down, or that that you really like the stretch in your shoulder, but this feels super weird for your hips. Remember, it's okay if it's not your favorite and it's intense, but it should never be painful. A few more breaths here. Really opening up the shoulder. When you're ready, you're going to roll all the way back onto your belly. And here, bring your hands when you're ready under your shoulders and press back towards child's pose. I want this to be a really nice, gentle child's pose. Maybe knees nice and wide, forehead to the floor, to a prop, elbows soft to the mat. And just take a few breaths here, feeling your hips sink towards your heels. And press the palms of your hands against the floor. Press your fingertips to the floor, lift the palms of your hands, that's what I'm trying to say. And then lift your forehead a little bit. And you're gonna take your right arm and thread it underneath your left armpit. And you could rest your forehead down, or you could look underneath that left armpit. But now you wanna feel an openness at the back of the shoulder joint. You have the most majestic tummy in the whole world. It is so lovely. When you're ready, you can switch sides, unthreading the right arm and taking the left arm underneath. And again, you want to find nice and intense. Some little bit, at least, of both of those things. When you're ready, go ahead and you unthread. Reach your fingertips out in front of you again. Keep tenting your fingertips, crawl them really far forward, let your forehead rest down, and then keep lifting your armpits, keep crawling the fingertips forward so you feel a nice stretch all around your shoulder blades. And then walk your fingertips in towards you. Shrug the shoulders back as you swing the legs out to the sides. And we'll come all the way back down to where we started, lying on our backs. When you get there, hug your knees in towards your chest. Give yourself a gentle rock from side to side. Release the soles of your feet to the floor. Bring your hands down by your sides, about a 45-degree angle. Pressing the palms to the floor, we're going to come into a bridge pose. Really relax your shoulder blades. Soften your belly. Soften your hips. And when you feel really relaxed here, really soft, then you start to work. You press down into the heels of the feet. You pull your belly button towards the floor, firming your abdominal muscles, and you lift your hips. Couple of options here. Option number one is just to stay. Enjoy your bridge pose. Option number two is a little deeper stretch for your neck, and you could reach your arms up over your head, placing the hands behind you, lengthening out those cervical vertebrae. Option number three would be to take your hands and hold on to the outer edges of your mat, pulling apart, a little stretch for your shoulders, or even taking your hands a little further, interlacing them underneath your back again. And of course, if you have a variation practice that you like to do, feel free. You can throw a full wheel in here if you feel that that is necessary. That feels good to your body. we are going to stay for about another 30 seconds. So again, it's a little bit of intensity, but at the same time, see if you can keep your jaw soft, keep your fingers mobile and your toes. Keep your heart soft so you're not clenching in your chest. Another deep breath or two to go. Next, exhale, release your hips to the floor. Bring your hands up, take a few breaths here. Is there anything else you need to do to complete this practice? Could be as simple as hugging your knees to your chest. Go ahead and add whatever you need before making your way towards Shavasana. Finding for yourself a comfortable resting place. Your nicest, more intensity. Now you swing that pendulum all the way to the side of just yummy, just kind, just relax. Here as he slips out of self-assured relaxation.